What a performance, a triumph of imagination and skill. Yubo's technical mastery and creativity will leave a lasting impression for these two Western visitors who make one last stop in the kitchen to witness some of the techniques up close.
So Steve, this is Chef Wooten, and he is now going to show us how to make those amazing hedgehogs. So, of course, hedgehogs need to have eyes. So here we have individual black sesame seeds on the prong of a pair of nail scissors. And look. So he's making these little cuts around the collar of the hedgehog. 很难做。做一个要花多长时间啊？
快1分钟左右。
1分钟？
对，他做的很熟练。
He says he can do a whole hedgehog in about a minute. Pretty amazing. Beautiful. Can Steve look a whole family of little hedgehogs?
Wow.
One of the fundamental skills of the Chinese chef is the art of cutting. And any apprentice chef will have to learn all the different ways of using a knife, all the different shapes into which food can be cut. It's essential that food is evenly cut, not just for the aesthetic of it, that it looks beautiful when everything's evenly cut, but also if you're using a very quick method like stir frying, it's technically important because if you have bits of food that are all different shapes and sizes, they then cooked at different times and one will be old and leathery when the other is still underdone. So it's really important. And Yubo's chef Guan Liao is going to show us a bit of a sort of introduction to the art of cutting Dao Gong. How?
Good.
然后这个切呢，切那个吉庆。
And he's now going to cut it into those lucky shapes that we saw during the banquet. The potatoes were cut into them. And also some vegetables on the side. So this
Don't ask me to do this one.
再看一个。
So this is so Yubo is making this dish.
要请你们来一起做。
Hiya. So with what we would call Swiss chards, known here as ox leather vegetable because they're kind of leathery. And so the first step he was saying is to cut it and then to remove the stringy bits from the vegetable. So 要把那个白的和好的。好了。So just like with celery, removing the stringy bits. So now the vegetable is cut and you've got the white bits separated, all those stringy bits removed and the green leaves. And now your boy is going to boil them in water till they're soft. So first of all the white bits go into the wok full of water.
这煮的时间比较长。
要多长时间呢？
这要3分钟。
Saying that you boil them for a relatively long time when you're talking about greens, about 3 minutes. And then because this dish is called back in the pot or twice cooked chards, it's going to be cooked again after the boiling. So here you will 这个可以说是小配料吗？
对对，小配料嘛。
Yeah.
在做的时候就是油。
油. So the other ingredients will be cooking oil. 好的。
油。豆瓣。
The chili bean paste, so Chinese chili bean paste.
豆子。
Black beans, fermented black beans.
然后就是姜。
Ginger cut very finely.
蒜。
Garlic cut very finely, chopped finely.
芹菜。
And that's celery.
蒜苗。
And then green garlic leaves.
香菜。
and cilantro.
就这样，就这么简单。
So it's just this simple. This is quite a good example of Sichuanese cookery, taking a really humble ingredient and using a combination of exciting seasonings to make it taste rather special and delicious. So now the green leaves going in. 他们要煮多长时间？
这个需要1分钟的时间。
But they'll just take about a minute to be ready.
接不了啊。
Draining them off. So into the seasoned wok, you put a bit of fresh oil, chili and fava bean paste. You don't want the heat to be too intense here. You want to have a sort of medium flame to coax out those wonderful spicy savoury flavours and to sort of stain the oil a wonderful rusty red colour.
下姜。
Okay, now he's putting in the ginger. 好的，下姜吧。And again, this stage of the recipe, when you stir fry your aromatic ingredients in oil at the beginning of cooking, is called chao xiang, fry fragrant. So you're using the oil to draw out the fragrance of these wonderful ingredients.
A little bit of broth.
Now he's putting in a bit of stock. So the fermented black beans now, which are made into a paste here, are going in, which will give it that rich beany flavour, and the garlic. You've got chili bean paste, ginger, black beans, garlic. And now, yeah,
I smell.
yeah. He's saying, isn't it smelling delicious? Very fragrant. So then the vegetable goes back into the wok. And finally, celery, Chinese celery cut very fine. The garlic leaves cut very fine as well. And the cilantro. He's adding at the end just to give them a lick of heat, but keep that beautiful pungent freshness. Oh, smells wonderful from here. All these flavors go. 好香哦！
OK， 你闻一闻，香吗？
Yeah, he's saying it smells absolutely wonderful, and you've got the scattering of all these seasonings on top.
来吧。
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
That's fantastic.
I would say that I think the greatness of Sichuanese cuisine lies in making the ordinary taste extraordinary. You know, something like eggplant, something like Swiss chard, all these ingredients with all these seasonings become just so exciting. Mm.
怎么样？
Best Swiss chard I've ever had.